Hey everyone, welcome to week 11 of the college football season. We're well into November now. Last week I ended up going 8-2, so a pretty good week, even with some big games going on. So that was pretty impressive, luckily. So let's see if we can keep the momentum going into this week. We have a few more really big games going on, so let's go ahead and get it started. So we're going to start this week with a Friday night game in the Mountain West Conference. We have Fresno State, which is traveling to Boise State. So Fresno State is one of those teams that has a chance, if Central Florida loses along the way, to make it in to the top 6 bowl games. But they have to go to Boise State, which is a really tough place to play. So in this game, I'm going to go ahead and pick Boise State to have a small upset at home over Fresno State. It should be a really good game. Both teams should be equally matched along the way. So picking Boise State at home in that one. Our next big game on Saturday is number 10 Ohio State traveling to number 18 Michigan State. So Ohio State struggled a couple weeks ago against Purdue, struggled last week but pulled off the win against Nebraska. But this week they have to go on the road to Michigan State. And so this week I'm going to pick Michigan State to win that game at home and then upset over number 10 Ohio State. So Michigan State in that Big Ten matchup. Our next game is another Big Ten matchup. We have Wisconsin traveling to Happy Valley to take on Penn State, ranked number 20 this week in the college football rankings. Penn State's another one of those teams that has struggled over the past couple weeks, and I think their struggles are going to continue this week. So I'm going to pick another slight upset here in the Big Ten with Wisconsin winning on the road at number 20 Penn State. So Wisconsin with the win there. Let's travel to the SEC. We have another ranked matchup where we have number 16 Mississippi State traveling to number 1 Alabama. And you know who I'm going to pick in this game. There's no way that I'm going to pick against Alabama anytime soon. So I'm going to pick Alabama to win at home against Mississippi State. I think Alabama will win big, just like they've been winning big every week so far. Our next game is another Big Ten matchup. We have Northwestern, which is traveling to number 21 Iowa. I'm still staying on the Northwestern bandwagon. I picked them last week against Notre Dame. That's one of the two matchups that I missed last week, but Northwestern kept it close throughout. I think Northwestern's going to go ahead and go into Iowa and pull off a victory again, which would be considered a small upset, but not really that big an upset in my book. So Northwestern will win over Iowa in the Big Ten. Let's move to the Big 12. We have Bedlam coming up this week. We have Oklahoma State traveling to number 6 Oklahoma this week. Oklahoma State always gives a huge battle to Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma State will keep it close in the first half. This is going to be another big matchup for that Oklahoma defense to see if they've improved much since the dismissal of Mike Stoops. I think, like I said, that they will struggle defensively in the first half, but find a way to pull away a little bit in the second half and win by about 14 or 17 points. Oklahoma will win at home over Oklahoma State. Let's move over to the Pac-12. We have a matchup where we have Oregon traveling to Utah. Oregon is a team that struggled the first part of this year, but has looked a lot better over the past few weeks. Utah has struggled over the past couple weeks. I think that momentum will continue on both sides. I'm going to pick Oregon to win at Utah in the Pac-12. We have another SEC matchup between ranked teams coming up. We have number 24 Auburn traveling to number 5 Georgia. Auburn is one of those teams that you never know what to get. You're not surprised when they pull off a really big win, and at the same time, you're not surprised at all when they get upset by someone. So they're traveling to number 5 Georgia. Will they pull off the upset? I don't think they will. I think Georgia will have too much for them. So I'm going to pick number 5 Georgia at home over Auburn in the SEC. Let's move back to the Big 12 for our next matchup. We have number 19 Texas traveling to Texas Tech. Texas is coming off back-to-back losses at Oklahoma State, and then the West Virginia loss at home, where West Virginia went on the 2-point conversion to win by 1 point. I think Texas is going to struggle again. I've never been on the Texas bandwagon this year. I still don't think that they're going to be able to pull off the win this week either. So I'm going to pick Texas Tech to win at home over Texas this week in the Big 12. Texas Tech with a big win. And finally, our last matchup is an ACC matchup on Saturday night. We have number 2 Clemson traveling to number 17 Boston College. A couple weeks ago, I might have picked Boston College to win this game, but over the past 2 to 3 weeks, Clemson has just turned it up a notch. They put it into another gear. They have absolutely dominated their opponents. Boston College, after having a impressive first part of the year, has struggled a little bit over the past few weeks. They still pulled off a couple big wins, but they've also had a couple upsets along the way. So I think Clemson will go into Boston College. They will handle the business, and they will pull off the win over Boston College. So Clemson over Boston College. So that's it for this week. Another big set of matchups. Hopefully we can pull off some more victories along the way. Thanks as always for following along the journey. You can always go to my website, cfbroadtrip.com, to see my road trips to Central Michigan and Western Michigan that I did over the past few weeks. Next week, I will be traveling to Stillwater, Oklahoma for the West Virginia-Oklahoma State game, so that will be a lot of fun. We will see you next week. Enjoy the games this weekend, everyone.